And you see Mare really holding her arms out, trying to indicate to referee Celestino Ruiz, hey, look at her. The second one turned out to be a false positive, but had to postpone the fight with Helen Joseph nonetheless. She ended up fighting Joseph July 14th, which was her last fight. That one went 10 rounds, and a unanimous decision win for Mare, and setting her up for this title opportunity against Brodnicka.
And going back to the 3-minute rounds, Mikaela said that if she had more time in these fights, she would put away her opponent. She only has 5 knockouts in 13 fights, and she felt like with a little bit more time, these girls could be gone in an additional 60 seconds.
Mare may only have 5 knockouts in her 13 wins, but Brodnicka only has 2 knockouts in her 19 wins. So neither Mare or Brodnicka known to get it done by way of KO.
And perhaps that's a conversation for a later day, but there needs to be some reform in women's boxing to have that diversity where they can have the same opportunity as the men. There's been fighters like Clarissa Shields and Terry Harper. They're at front and center of this trying to get that change.
You mentioned Terry Harper. Mikaela Mare calling out Terry Harper this week, saying after I beat Brodnicka, I want to unify. I want to fight Terry Harper. That's who next. And again, you see Brodnicka holding down the back of the head of Mikaela Mare. A long talking to from Celestino Ruiz now through 3 rounds. I wonder how long and how many times Ruiz is going to let Brodnicka get away with that.
And trust me, that was not subtle. She was literally
10 seconds after the bell rang,
pushing her head down, as if saying, trying to get a look at those nice Air Max shoes you're wearing.
And again, the distance a little bit of an issue, as Mikaela Mare, we saw during that round, the stat pop up, has thrown a higher volume of punches than Brodnicka. But again, when they've been separated and fighting at distance, Mare has been a little hit or miss trying to find the chin of Brodnicka.
Certainly it's been a scrappy affair so far, and there is no definitive leader of the clubhouse right now as far as who's winning this fight. Unfortunately, Brodnicka is not the champion anymore, so the way these judges are looking at it, she can't win her title anymore. So psychologically, there might be some problems for Brodnicka as far as what she needs to do to win this fight.
Brodnicka able to land the left jab to start here in the 4th round on the scheduled 10. And again, look at the holding the back of the head. Brodnicka with that left hand really pinning down the back of Mare's head.
There go. Break!
And you see that strategy that Mare talked about. She does not want Brodnicka to continue to hold, to continue to clinch, to continue to get inside. She's trying to wriggle her way out of those clinches every chance she gets. Good straight right there by Mare, lands. Good combination for Mare, left, right, and then an overhand right to top things off.
And Mikaela has big dreams for herself. She wants to be on the pound-for-pound list. She wants to be undisputed. So a clear-cut, definitive win right here is exactly what she's going to need to enter those conversations moving forward.
She was asked about the pound-for-pound list yesterday. She says, I hate pound-for-pound lists because I'm not on them. I said, what kind of sport are you watching if I'm not on the pound-for-pound list? I think if she wins here tonight, maybe she will enter that conversation, and maybe she'll start liking the pound-for-pound list a little bit more.
Yeah, because she has the likes of Terry Harper and Katie Taylor on her appetite, and that's not something you can just get into right away. You need to work your way up to that.
Brodnicka, title or not, is a good test. 10 seconds to go here in round number 4. Left hook and a straight right. There's a nice flurry by Mikaela Mare.
It makes it difficult for you to get in there and get out, because when you get in, she holds on to you and she works on the inside. She makes it tough for you to get work done. And Mikaela right now needs to keep Brodnicka at a distance, work the jab, work the left, and we use her back foot, work off the back foot a little bit.
Tripling up on the jab, Brodnicka keeping her distance from Mare. And again, you go back to the strategy of Brodnicka. It's been one of two things: either stay far away or get really close. She's not gotten in the hot zone, if you will, of where Mikaela Mayer wants her to be, and that's a credit to Brodnicka's game plan and maybe some in-ring adjustments that Mikaela Mayer needs to make for the second half of this fight.
Yeah, that adjustment is there for her. As soon as Brodnicka charges, she has to work off the back foot, and halfway through the fight, see if some adjustments are going to be made.
Go ahead, box. Sorry, buddy.
There we saw Mayer really turn in with that left hook to the body after getting out of that clinch. She also needs to get that in her system as well, too, to work in the clinch. There it is.
And we've seen now here in the fifth that the strategy for Brodnicka has been to double and triple up on some of these punches, but tough to tell how much power she has behind them. Mikaela Mayer has been much more precise with picking and choosing some of her big punches. Tried to go over the top with the right hand and missed just barely. And good work by Mayer on the inside of doing damage while Brodnicka is focused on clinching.
Yeah, she has to make the most of her opportunities right now because Brodnicka's making it hard. Every time the fight gets close, it gets dirty.
Watch your head, guys. Watch your head. Don't hold.
10 seconds to go here in the fifth round. Brodnicka holding, Mayer fighting back, landing, scoring shots. All of these shots in the clinch, in the hold, or if it's done enough for the judges ringside.
As we saw in that highlight sequence right there, too, the feint is working really nice for Mikaela as well, too, and is allowing for her to get that jab going. Establishing the jab so far in this fight is going to be critical moving into the later rounds.
And credit referee Celestino Ruiz as well. He has recognized that Brodnicka has focused on holding and clinching, and frankly, he's done a good job of allowing Mayer to try to fight out of it and not jumping in and separating them too early.
Yeah, Brodnicka's certainly given the opportunity for the referee to get in there and break it up, but credit to both women for trying to fight out of it at the same time. Mikaela is really trying to put the pressure on right now, as we can see, taking what she can get.
There you hear her corner and Al Mitchell saying turn, try to turn out of that hold as she's doing so. And then the elbow right above the chin. And now I think we might have a point deduction. Celestino Ruiz has had enough.
1 point holding, 1 point holding.
He has warned and warned and warned Brodnicka. And now a point deduction here in the sixth.
And it goes exactly to what Mayer was expecting. This is what she thought would happen going into the fight. This is what she's been preparing for. So this is no surprise. This is not coming out of an unforeseen script. The fact that she just got a free point like that perhaps could give her a vote of confidence to close this fight out now.
Brodnicka continues to hold. A good job by Mayer on that last exchange to roll out of it and land a nice left hook. Under 30 seconds to go here in round number 6.
Fight out, fight out, fight
and again, you try to put yourself in the eyes and ears of these judges ringside, Manuk, and Brodnicka has spent a lot of time holding, which means she has not spent a lot of time in those situations throwing punches. And Mayer, to her credit, despite being held, has thrown a lot of punches on the inside. And so while Brodnicka is sitting there holding her, Mikaela Mayer is continuing to showcase action for the judges, and that might be the difference at the end of the day.
Put your legs out. You're losing this fight, okay? You're losing this fight. She's more aggressive, okay? She's working on the inside. I need you, if you're on the inside, you got to work. I want you coming forward, but I want you going.
You are, take advantage of it as we move to round number 7. Mikaela Mayer going back to the jab. She's been steady with that lead punch, and a good straight right hand splits the guard of Brodnicka.
And as Brodnicka got a point deducted in the last round, she had an honest about face yesterday in the fighter meetings, admitting that she holds too much. She knew that was one of her flaws. And the fact that she let herself back onto that path is a problem moving forward.
And Mayer talked about it as well in the fighter meeting yesterday, saying this is Brodnicka's first time fighting in the U.S., and with those holds, she's not going to get as lenient of judging and refereeing as she has in her home country. And the premonition of Mikaela Mayer was spot on, as Celestino Ruiz deducting a point in the 6th round for holding against Brodnicka. Mikaela Mayer, the former Olympian, looking for her 14th victory and the first title of her professional career. And now a time again from Ruiz. And another point deduction. And Brodnicka, frustrated, has now been deducted 2 points for holding in this fight. Back-to-back rounds.
The foresight Mayer had in this fight is clear. She said, I don't think the referee is going to allow holding in this fight. And she said that it's going to be the Achilles heel of Brodnicka, and it's proven to be true.
When you talk about a 36-hour period where Eva Brodnicka has shot herself in the foot multiple times. It started yesterday at the weigh-in, where she missed weight and lost her title, and continues here in the 6th and 7th round of this fight against Mikaela Mayer, where she's now been deducted 2 points for holding. And Mayer seemingly a couple rounds away from realizing Brodnicka could be disqualified if she does it again.
She needs to stop holding and start letting her hands go, because she's not going to win a fight on the judges' scorecards the way the fight has been playing out in the first 7 rounds. Just 3 rounds to change the tide and fate of this fight. She already hasn't had a good go coming into it. She can change that with 9 perfect minutes.
Well, even with the point deduction in that 7th round, I thought that was the best round that Mayer has had in the fight. A lot of good combination, stuck with the jab, defensively was really good. And for someone who hasn't fought for a championship before, now entering the championship rounds, looks very, very poised here in her first opportunity. You hear Al Mitchell, a 77-year-old trainer, his birthday today, saying stick with the jab, stay behind the jab, Mikaela. Mayer goes back to the body, catches Brodnicka with a left hook. And again, as Brodnicka continues to try to hold, Mayer continues to throw. Is not being deterred, letting referee Celestino Ruiz deal with whatever Brodnicka is doing, and Mayer is sticking to her game plan.
She's scoring points easily, and every round is a clear and decisive one, and she just landed the biggest punch of the fight with that thunderous left hook.
And followed it up with a right.
Best round of the fight so far for Mayer, who's 4 minutes away from tasting her first championship in her career.
7th and 8th rounds have really been impressive for Mikaela Mayer, who has steadily come on throughout the course of this fight. In the end of 8, it seems like Mikaela Mayer is in position to take home her first world title. A guy who is not unaccustomed to taking home world titles is Naoya Inoue. He is a 3-division world titleist. He holds the WBA, IBF, and Ring Magazine world titles right now, and he puts them all on the line in just a few minutes against Jason Maloney, the 21-1 contender from Australia. The main event of the evening here from the MGM Grand Bubble in Las Vegas. Eric Rothman, an LA Times boxing scene writer, Manuka Kopian, happy to be here with you in what has been a fantastic afternoon and evening of fights under a full moon on Halloween. And what a treat it would be for Mikaela Mayer to head back home with a belt over her shoulder, something she has worked her entire career for, has been vocal about wanting to get the chance, has felt like opponents in her division with titles, including Brodnicka, have avoided her. And now, because she was made the mandatory contender for the WBO, the BO belt that Brodnicka held, Mayer is now 2 rounds away from realizing that dream.
And this is the vision Top Rank set out for her when they signed her coming out of the Olympics. Mayer is the first female fighter signed under Top Rank, and in her last fight was the first female fighter to headline an ESPN on Top Rank show.
And she's continued to improve round after round. A good combination a moment ago, landing a left hand. You see the blood trickling down the lip of Brodnicka, nearing the midway point of the 9th round.
Let her go, let her go.
A very impressive second half of this fight for Mayer.
Turn around.
And maybe the scorecards would have been in her favor anyway with the 2-point deductions. But if she goes on to win this fight, she earned it.
Well, the last 3 rounds, Mayer showed adjustments that she needed from the first half of the fight. The rough and tumble affair that she was forced to get out of, she moved admirably. She listened to the advice of Coach Al Mitchell. She turned into those punches as she was breaking away, and she scored definitively for each round. There it is again with the uppercut.
Good work on the inside by Mayer. Mayer goes back to the jab. You hear her corner providing direction. That bond we mentioned with her trainer, Al Mitchell. And not only do we know that Mikaela wants to win this for herself and realizing her own dreams, but equally wants to win it for her trainer, Al Mitchell, on his 77th birthday.
You can, a little bit of her face, there's some grimace there. Definitely an uncomfortable situation for Brodnicka heading into the final round. But considering how awkward and herky-jerky her fighting style is, it'll be interesting to see if she's going to ever throw that right hand again for the remainder of the fight.
Well, she just threw a really soft right hand to the midsection of the Mayer, not anything behind it. And then she fires off the straight right, back-to-back. So if it's hurt, she's still throwing. As Mayer, however, continues to be the one landing the power punches.
Watch your head. Right. Step back. Right.
Mikaela's really in a groove right now, 90 seconds away from realizing her dream.
A really complete performance for Mikaela Mayer, who has made some really nice in-ring adjustments in the second half of this fight. Starting in really the 7th round after that 2nd-point deduction to Brodnicka. It has been all Mikaela Mayer. Right hand to the body lands for Mayer, and another clinch halfway through the 10th round, just 1 minute to go.
Nice left uppercut there by Mayer, who's really connecting with everything she's throwing right now. Having great success here in the last minute of the fight.
Going back to the body as well. Just punishing Brodnicka every time she comes inside.
Digging left hook to the body.
Under 30 seconds to go for Mikaela Mayer. Can the Olympian, the undefeated pro, realize her dream and take home the WBO junior lightweight title? Mayer trying to finish off strong, goes back to the body with the left hand. Brodnicka, one final hold. There's a